Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea.
Okay, this is Black. We'll be stepping back from the brink towards a more meaningful future. With our theme verse being, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So if your ancestors were scattered via the transatlantic slave trade or the Mohammedan Arabic Islamic slave trade, then you are the children of Almighty. Sunini Nanini Samandla, the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Oh yes, Black history. The study of the Bible is Black history. And so you're welcome tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Share the link to everyone. And let somebody know tonight that you are connected to the show. We give him all the praise. We give him all the glory. We give him all the honor because he is due all the praise and all the honor. Oh yes, share the link and text a friend. And after the show, make sure you follow us on all the channels. It is on Telegram Live. It is YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and the recording is uploaded on Bantu. You are welcome tonight to the show. All praises to Almighty Sunini Nanini Samanda. We give him all the praise and all the glory.
Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Education TV. Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Education TV.
Every time we begin to say who we are, we're being told when we say we are the chosen, we're being told that we are anti-Semitic, to shut us down. But this time, the long time, this time, the been before time.
This is what I have to say. And I think you will agree. There is someone who's been running around claiming to be you and me. And now there's no compromising. It won't be stopped. The awakening is real. There's no compromising. And we don't care how you feel. Trust, hear, and understand. We're simply speaking truth. We're exposing that fake holy land and gathering all the proof. We are not claiming to have found everything, but the Most High helps us remember. Just like He opened up our eyes and showed our New Year's in September. We don't live in fear. We're not on our own. Shineke Modimo will never leave us alone. There's no more picking the fruit from off of the vines. It's time that we draw the line. The time has come to use the gifts the Most High gave to you. Stand up, stake your claim, bear the fruit. No more going to the nations to beg or plead. So many, not many, will bring them down to their knees. Their noses in the air, and they're still walking tall. But pride comes before a fall. Now In the Setswana language, Modimo means the Most High, the one who is above all, the High One, the Sky One. As the royal seed of Abraham sing the name Modimo together, know that there is power in that name. Know that when we sing his name, we have his attention. As a Bantu begins to sing Modimo or say Modimo repeatedly, he will come in response to connect with us in the atmosphere of praise and worship generated by our repetition of his name. Modimo will lift us high and transport us into his holy presence as we promote his name in this way. In an atmosphere generated by worship to Modimo, we will receive clear directives on how to progress as a people in these very pressing times. Modimo, receive our worship. Hallelujah. Modimo, 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 omnipresent Modimo. Bantu, let us advance to the throne room of Modimo. Let us worship Modimo with gladness and come before him singing with joy. Modimo, omnipresent Modimo. Hallelujah, 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 Royal household of Abraham, enter his gates with thanksgiving, go into his courts with praise. Modimo, you are good, your unfailing love continues forever, your faithfulness to Bantu continues from generation to generation. Hallelujah. Omnipresent Modimo. Modimo. As we focus on Modimo for this extended time of worship, we are in effect giving him quality time, and in return we will experience eternal moments with him. Omnipresent Modimo. Modimo, Modimo. I encourage you to disengage with all cares, all concerns, all anxieties, because these prevent us from engaging with Modimo. Abantu, let it all go. Make every effort to climb upwards, move towards Modimo, and move towards him in humility and reverence. Yes. In one of his own times of devotion, King David asks two questions. Firstly, who may go up the mountain of Modimo? And secondly, who can stand in his holy presence? And the answer, documented in Psalm chapter 24, tells us only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. Direction involves our acknowledgement of our sins and the sins of our bloodline, and repenting of anything in our lives that displeases Modimo. Repentance allows Modimo to repair, restore, and heal our brokenness, bringing us back into the spirit of Ubuntu. Let us focus, Abantu. Closer we get to Modimo, hidden motivations are highlighted by his penetrating gaze as he searches our heart. Allow him to search your heart. You know, the word says we can come boldly before his throne, and there is no shame. In Revelation chapter 4, we see a clear example of the power of repetition. The four living creatures or beasts stated in verse 8 repeated only one phrase, and it said, Holy, holy, holy to Almighty Modimo, which was and is to come. They never stopped saying that day and night. They never stopped repeating repeating that phrase. Let us keep our focus on Modimo by repeating his name and repeating the same musical phrase.
When I look through your eyes, I see what you see. An intense, immense love you have for your family. You said in your word, you are married to us. It's like when a man leaves his mother and his father, he cleaves onto his wife and they become one. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, so ni na ni. Through your eyes, I see you, I see you. Through your eyes, I see you, you see me. I am the bones of your bones, the flesh of your flesh, the spirit of your spirit, the DNA of your DNA. Oh, so ni, not ni. I hear your words. You said, choose Nanini, you spoke to us. You said, only you have I known. We repent for committing spiritual adultery against you.
Thanks Sunini Nanini for breaking down every obstacle in the path to the redemption of his people. And we join the prophets that said, therefore the redeemed of Sunini Nanini shall return and come with singing unto Zion. That's what they said in the Bible. But we know it's Jerusalem. It's this.
In paradise, in paradise, yeah. In paradise, in paradise, yeah. In paradise, in paradise, yeah. In paradise, in paradise. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Yeah, I wanna go to paradise, where the roads gold and the weather's nice, where the Salema ain't on fight, no moon or sun, cause you be the light, the way truth and light. So nini na nini, Tata is on me, mighty one over Kobe, out New Egypt, you gon' lead us, you the one to redeem us, you love us but don't need us, fast action, you gon' free us. Yeah, I can hear the shaking of the bones. All cause the one on the throne. A Kobe, yeah, we go home. So Nini, please take us home. Eat paradise, eat paradise, yeah. Eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise. Eat paradise, Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Yeah.
Okay. Greetings tonight. Once more, in the precious name of our Father Almighty, Sunini Nanini Samandla. He is the mighty one of Abraham, the mighty one of Isaka, and he is the mighty one of Akobi. I know that there's some new people in the chat. We give thanks and praise for everyone that comes here. We thank you for being very respectful in the chat room. And when the teaching is going on, it will be very nice if we refrain from conversations. Hallelujah. We give all the praise and thanks to Almighty Sunini Nanini for what he's doing in the earth. We thank him for his redemption of Abantu. We thank him for his glorious salvation that we that are in this end time, we are able to experience. Unlike our ancestors, they never had this glorious privilege of being in the space where we can experience the redemption of Almighty Sunini Nanini. So welcome here tonight if you're joining us. If you're joining us from the Pacific Islands, Australia, New Zealand, or from the troubled Arab, Asian, and European lands tonight, welcome. And if you're joining us from the Caribbean Islands, North and South America, or even Antarctica, you are also welcome here tonight. But if you're joining us from the most precious real estate on earth, the Holy Land, Akebu Land, Azania, the Promised Land, the land of Canaan, Sub Saharan Africa, the Promised Land, welcome here tonight. And tonight, as we continue on in our new series, Africa is the Holy Land, History and the Bible, an African Perspective. history and the Bible, an African perspective. The beginning. I thought it wise that we should go right up at the beginning and start this conversation all over again. We have been there in Christianity. Some people have been there in Hebrewism. Some people have been there in Judaism. Some people have been there via Islam, way back in the beginning. And we're going to do it in a way that will make it as clear as we can make it. We're starting off at the beginning, but we might go a little further back or come forward a little. What I'm saying is that in the beginning, there were people on the earth, different people, all kinds of people. And we, as a people, were led to believe, that all these people that were put here on the earth were put here for the same purpose. That all the people that were put on the earth were put here because they had a similar ideology. That all the people that were put on the earth, they were going to go along in harmony. Those are some of the things we might have thought in the beginning. So tonight, we're going to do a little review of in the beginning. Because if we fast forward to the day of the flood, there were people that we know or we were told existed after the flood. And it must have been true because we are here. We are here. And our ancestors were here. And so much has not changed in terms of who we are as a people, in terms of a Bantu people. I'm using the words together. As a Bantu, our ancestors were here and they look like us and they behave like us. In fact, they give us our culture, they give us lots of our traits and mannerisms. We look like them, we are the express image of them. But everybody don't look like us on the earth. And so the question was asked, where are all these people from? The diversity of the people that we see here, where they're from, who created them is the next question. Is it the same creator created these varieties? And how come they don't follow him? Why is there fabricated history? Why is there twisted history? Why there's violence and aggression? And so all of these questions coming up in our minds is causing us to really question the things that we were told historically and biblically. And to take it from an African perspective, it is generally accepted that Adam and Eve were the first two people. It's generally accepted. And that more further than that, that they were black people. And for a long time, a very long time, this history had been obscured to the point where we've got a whole set of images about the creation or before the flood, when man was created. There were no cameras back in the day. So whatever existed then, we have to come forward and look at us that are here today. Then the other question is, were there people here that are no longer here? And yes, they are. For some reason, they were able to change, or with time they changed, and so they don't look the way they used to look before. These are some of the things that confronts us when we ask these questions as we go back to the beginning. In the Bible, we read, in the beginning, God. The word God is a reverse of the word dog. So right away we know that in the beginning he could not have been called God, because there is no normal people who will use the same word when reversed for the creator, dog. It must have been somebody who wanted to test or to see if people will question what they have been fed. So they use the word dog and reverse it. And so they got God. Now, we don't need that to know who he is. If he is here and he made people here, there must be a people that have a connection, still have a connection with him, or had a connection with him and still have. Who are those people? And when we begin to ask these questions, when we begin to look at history and the Bible, we're left with more questions than answers. And so, in education, it is part of our training to take people from the known to the unknown. If you want to see what my father looked like, look at me. If you want to see what a donkey looked like in the past, look at a donkey. If you want to see what a bird looked like, you look at a bird. A flower look like. And by just connecting with those areas of history or reality, we can begin to draw some basic conclusions. Among the conclusions we can draw is that things in the past are reflected in the present. Or, if you want to be more philosophical, you can say the present is a reflection of the past. If I am here, it was because somebody that looked like me was back there. And so let's examine the peoples of the earth. And then let's examine them by a little more information that is coming to light, that we talk a little bit about the DNA, because it's beginning to reveal things. And don't think that the DNA is a Gentile science. Don't think that the DNA belongs to Gentiles. Gentiles opened the book of life and saw it. It was there all the time. Before they saw it, it was there. And when they saw it, some of them thought of subverting it. But it was too late, because it was only revealed at a point where the subversion is minimum. If they could have twisted everything that they saw, then you and I would not be able to do what we are able to do today in terms of research and biology, anthropology, and all of this information, where we can look back in time and see similarities, and we can look forward in the future and know that those similarities will repeat themselves, albeit maybe at a higher level. And so history presents us with questions. And the Bible, which is also history, which I say is black history, which is the Bantu scrolls perverted or edited, it presents us with many questions as well. But in order to keep it simple, I've decided to have a little chat based on the conversation we started out with last night. I dropped that nugget last night so that I can pick it up tonight and take you in a little deeper. Last night, if you didn't know, many people do, that the Ramses III, the pharaohs of Egypt, The pharaohs of Egypt are the cousins of all black people on the earth. I repeat, the pharaohs of Egypt are the cousins of the children of Sub Saharan. The pharaohs of Egypt, they have a similar DNA, or they point to a common ancestry way back in the beginning, even from before the flood. And that's remarkable. And it speaks volumes because everybody don't have that DNA. And if we see a European DNA or corpse masquerading as black DNA, any honest test will reveal the truth about that DNA. And though we say we should take the science with a pinch of salt, there is still much that we can glean from it. For those of us who have been fortunate to have an oral history coming down from generations of slavery, we can attest to the fact that our ancestors came out of Africa. There is a conversation out there that all peoples come out of Africa. There are questions about that. There are serious questions about that, because if we don't settle this up at the beginning, when we come into the Bible proper and we begin to look at the table of nations, which we will do in small chunks so that we can break it out properly, we will discover that the foundation for understanding what happened after the flood is not clear. Whatever is happening after the flood happened before the flood. When Sindisi was here, he said it this way: as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end. As it was in the days of Noah. So the days of Noah is a reflection of where we are at in history today. All these peoples were here. And so the question that is frequently asked, did they not say that the children of Cain died before the flood? They did not come over the flood. Then you should know that that is not possible. If one group of these people are not here because they didn't make it over the flood, then the conversation is more troubling. But they're here because, again, Sindisi speaking in Matthew chapter 23 says that the people who killed Cain and killed Abel, he was having a conversation with them when he was here. And that would not have been possible if they didn't make it over the flood. The mechanism, the methodology of them making it over the flood might not be known to us and might be left to speculations. For example, when we look at the children today that are digging holes in the grounds, digging holes, making silos, making tunnels, going underground, living underground, we know that there were a people that lived underground. There were a people that found safety underground. And could be that the same people did the same thing back in those days. However, we are not to concern ourselves too much with the fact that the method they used to come over here, but the fact that they're here. Let me share with you in the book of Matthew, and I want to thank the person that came in the chat and left Esdras second Esdras chapter 15. I shall be using it in this series. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go into the book of Matthew in the King James Version. And we want to look at Matthew chapter 23. we're going to read a few verses here just to establish the fact that there were people that were being addressed and that these people's ancestors were before the flood. And I'm not going to read all of it. You can, but I'll take you straight to verse number 35. And then I'm going to back read a few scriptures to connect you with who he was talking to. He says here, after a lengthy conversation, that upon you, he's specifically talking to a group, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. So he has taken this conversation right back to the beginning. And he is speaking to a people that were having descendants from the beginning. Because these are not the people back then. They can't live so long. But they were here. Therefore, they descended from those people. I hope you understand. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. So this people, the descendants that he's speaking to here, their ancestors were responsible for shedding righteous blood upon the earth. And that seemed to tie in. No, I'm tying the biblical history with this conversation tonight and what is present in front of us today. If this people, he's saying, that upon you may come all, not some, but all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. That is an indictment. And the only way we can remove these people from there is if we can find proof that they were not there in the person of their ancestors. Because you are your ancestors. We are our ancestors. And he was saying these ones were there. Now I want to have you see the verse with me so that you can connect with this conversation. I thought I had it on the screen. Here we go. Verse 35 says, that upon you, whoever you are, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. Now I know that I sometimes move a little quickly and too quickly for people to digest some of what I've been teaching. I've been saying most of these things over and over again in different ways. But I want you to connect with this. He's saying this people that he's talking to, if we can find who those people are, we will know that this people, their ancestors back in the days, in the beginning of the earth, when people began to live on the earth, these people here descended from those people back there. And if you don't complicate it, it will reveal itself unto you. That upon you, he is here presently, as it were, talking to a group of people whose ancestors were responsible for the bloodshed back in the beginning of time. From the blood of Abel, righteous Abel, he's taking you back. This people that he's addressing here were back, their ancestors were back there, and the ancestors murdered righteous Abel. And if we keep it as simple as that, it will reveal itself, like I said. Who murdered Abel? And the question will come back to you historically, Cain. Why Cain murdered Abel? Because Cain was evil. Because it says here, righteous Abel. So we got a qualification of Abel. He was righteous. He was good. He was clean. He was honest. He was what the Creator wanted. He's an express image of whoever made him. And his blood was shed by the people whom Msindisi was speaking with directly when he was here. And he said, you, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. He was not imputing this on an innocent people. He was saying that these were the descendants of those people. They carried the DNA of their ancestors, the DNA of the wicked, because Abel was the righteous and Cain was the unrighteous one. Do we have such people among us? Yes. And how do we get to know these people? They are going to do exactly what their fathers did. Look, back up to verse number 32 here. If you look at verse 32, you're going to see what I'm saying here. It says in verse 32, fill ye up the measures of your fathers. In other words, he's saying, you are just like your fathers. Fill up the measures of your fathers. Do the things that your fathers did. So the children that he was speaking to were behaving exactly like their parents. Are you getting the picture tonight? You see, like I said in this series, we're going to dissect. We're going to break it down to its simplest form. If it's as though we're teaching it to the children in nursery school. And we're doing a bit of show and tell. Your fathers, you are a reflection of your fathers. You are connected to your fathers by DNA. Fill up the measures of your ancestors. Do like what your ancestors were doing. What were your ancestors doing? They were killing the righteous. They were shedding the blood of the innocent. And if you look in time, look in this present time, if you see people who are massing up together, looking alike, doing the same thing, behaving the same way, then you know you are looking at a people that were doing that before. The ancestors were doing it, and they come now doing it. Like I said in the early stages of this conversation tonight, that in education, what we do is take the things that a child knows to explain the things that he should know or he doesn't know. So there's always going to be what we call previous knowledge. If you look for it, you'll find it. And then you use that knowledge to explain to the child the next stage you want to take the child over to. And this is what Msindisi was doing here in this book. He was teaching us how to identify the seed, the children of the wicked one. In verse number 33, he continues, you serpents. That reminds us of Satan in the garden. You serpents. Genealogy. Ye generation of the serpent or the viper. Viper, serpent, viper, serpent, serpent, viper. You genealogy, DNA carriers of the viper. How can you escape? Or in other words, to say, it is not possible for you to escape the damnation of hell. So to come out this side of history and say everybody's going to go to heaven, it will be a myth, a mythical statement. Because it's clearly saying here that there will be a people who is walking in the ways of their ancestors that will not be able to escape. I want to keep his words, to escape the damnation of hell. In other words, they're slated for destruction by virtue of the DNA they carry and the behavior they display. I am not talking here about bad people and good people. I am talking here about a seed line, because I'm establishing right up at the beginning that everybody on the earth did not come from the same source. And that is why the conversation can continue by saying, by the fruit, you will know the tree. By the fruit, you will know the tree. If the tree is bearing avocado, it's an avocado tree. The DNA of that tree allows it to bear avocado. You're not going to see oranges coming from an avocado tree because it is an avocado tree. And that's how simple we can bring it to teach it to the smaller children. Smallest we can take it. They will understand. This is an avocado tree, and this is a mango tree. Show me and tell me, show and tell, which fruit came from which tree. And once he is aware of this being a mango and this being an avocado, and he can see it growing on the tree, that's all he needs to do. He's going to get a physical representation of the DNA of that tree when he sees the fruit. And he will connect the avocado with the avocado tree and the mango with the mango tree. If he is blind, he will do it by taste. He will use another sense, not the eye, but he will use the sense of taste. This is avocado, this is mango. And he, by natural deduction, you ask him which tree gave the mango tree, though he might not be able to see it, but he can tell you it's the mango tree. And you can verify it for him that is the mango tree. Because mango trees are only going to be producing mangoes. And avocado trees are only going to produce avocados. That upon you may come all the righteous bloodshed upon the earth. He is meting out an indictment to a bloodline, because he begins to talk about blood, from the blood of righteous Abel. So he's identifying a righteous bloodline and an unrighteous bloodline in the same space or in the earth. And just how the trees cannot switch their fruits, so it is. These trees are going to bring forth what the DNA allows them to bring forth in this earth. That's why he said it. Upon you may come the blood shed by Cain. They were not there in the beginning with Cain. They were not there. Physically, no, they were not there. Genetically, yes, they were there. They were in Cain, as a Bantu was in Adam in the beginning. That's why a Bantu looks the way he looks today, because he was in the beginning in Adam. And that's why the children of Cain look like Cain. You don't want to do any funny things with this information. You don't want to apply faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, to this conversation, because you'll muddle it up. Adam produced Abel, righteous Abel, and Cain was wicked. He's Satan's child. He's Satan's child. And the other myth we have to dispel will come to. Who is his mother and his father? Who is his mother and his father? Because you need a mother and father. You need them to give 50-50 DNA. And if you get 50 wicked DNA from Satan and another 50 wicked DNA from the lady that Satan made the child with, you get a full-blown wicked seed in the earth. And all you need to do, if you're up here in this time, in this age in which we're living, look for the wickedness and the wicked will reveal itself. The wicked is not hiding. The wicked is doing exactly what the wicked did all the time. It's you and I, tainted by philosophies and religions and all these wise things that we say we have, begin to think that no, you're watching at the wicked and he's saying that it's not wicked. And you're watching at the righteous and you're saying it's not righteous. So you've got a problem. Not wickedness and righteousness. You've got a problem. You don't know to call a spade a spade. You're calling a spade a knife. And so you've got the problem, not the spade, not the knife. And I hope to keep it as simple as this as we go through this series, and invite your Hebrew Israelite friends, my brothers, because they are my deceived brothers, yes they are, to this show. And when they come to this show, I want them to sit and listen. Sometimes we talk too much, and because we're talking, we're not hearing. And so I would invite them to come in and sit down and listen. Listen to something that they already know. If the DNA does not speak, and I can speak in terms of DNA not only as a science, but as a product of nature, from the standpoint that the avocado tree and the mango tree, they're different, but they're all trees, but they're not the same tree. Their leaves might look in color green, but they don't have the same structure. They all have similar parts. They have a bark, they have a cortex, they have annual rings, and all of these little things inside, the things that you mightn't pay attention. They all perform the process of photosynthesis. They all perform that process. So they all are trees, but they're not the same tree. They're growing in the same soil, like any seed will grow, but they're not the same. And you can't make them the same. And that's the danger. History, manipulated history, sought to make everything one and say Eve is the mother of all living. But scientifically and observationally and biologically, it's not true. It's like saying all the mangoes came from the avocado tree. And if you want to believe that, you've got problems. Or if you want to believe that all the apples came from the mango tree, nobody's going to accept that. You're not going to do it in the same way that, somebody comes and bring a baby to you that you know is not yours, and you go check the DNA. Why you do that? You did that because you want to prove that it's not yours. You have already had the suspicion, but now you're proving that it's not yours. And the DNA will speak because it will speak. It will answer to the father of that child. Yeah, the mother is gonna answer to that mother, but 50% will answer to the father. And it's not you. But it's got to be a man. You get the picture. It's not complex. But because these nations never believed that the books were going to be open, and that the wicked will be judged from the things that are written in the book of life, they sought to pervert the course of justice with reference to history and the Bantu schools, which they altered, and was hoping that we never find it. But they knew given time, and that's why we had to be kept under constant surveillance, and the world is never been much more supervised by the wicked like they supervise today. Because they want to know and see when you're going to act differently, because the knowledge has returned to you. They want to see you. They want to recognize your face when you're going to be changing. And they want to eavesdrop on your conversation because they know you're going to wake up to the reality that an avocado tree can only produce avocados. And if somebody is telling you that the avocado tree produces a mango, you are going to question it. That's why Cain could not come from the same source like Abel. Cain is a plimpler, a briar. When he jukes, blood comes. Let me go in a little more. He says, wherefore I send prophets and wise men and scribes. I'm talking to you tonight. Not as a scribe or a wise man or a prophet. And some of them you will kill. Why you want to kill them? Why you want to kill the wise men and the scribes and the prophets? Because you want to hide them warning the world and people in general that you cannot be trusted. That's why you want to kill them. It says, some of them you will kill, and others, which is murder, is another word for crucifixion, is another word for murder. And some of them you shall scourge in your synagogue. Now, there ain't nothing as direct and speaking so clearly. This is a King James translation of the Bible. We didn't translate this book. They copied from the Bantu scrolls and they put back the things as they understood it to be. And they did it. So those who were killing and crucifying and murdering, shedding the blood, they were scourging some people in their synagogues. And they were persecuting people from city to city. Violence, murder, bloodshed was the hallmark of this group, of this tree, if you understand it in the context of a tree. This tree was killing other trees. Once a tree gets close to it, it will kill it. You need pesticides to kill it. Get it out of the field because it will choke and kill everything around it. It's just a killing machine. You can't miss it. It's marked by blood. Some synthesis put it in these words. That upon you, killing machine, that upon you, tree, murderous tree, poison tree, that upon you may come all the righteous. You have been responsible for the death of the righteous. So you cannot be righteous. But you missed, you thought he was righteous. When he was telling you that without shedding blood, he cannot be his sins cannot be remitted. And he made you to think that you are the same like him. And so you began to say the same thing. I should have been crucified. You began to sing the things he wanted you to sing because you began to believe what he's saying, that without the shedding of blood, there is no remission for sins. For his sins, he need blood. For ours, we need the water, the washing of the water of the word. It is Sunini's words that cleanse us. But their sins need blood. Cain, Satan require blood. I think I'm getting through to you. I get the feeling that you're understanding that there's a wicked tree in your garden and you need to chop it down. Not only the blood of Abel in the beginning, righteous Abel, but at the time of Synthesis speaking, they murdered or shed the blood of Zachariah, son of Berechias, the father of Lycaoniani, whom they nicknamed John the Baptist. and in the Hebrew, Yakanan. They murdered him. In the place of worship, not the synagogue this time, they moved over to the temple. So they seem to have had control. Whom you slew between the temple and the altar. They had no reverence, no regards. Can I prophesy tonight? If this war continues in the Middle East, so-called, that Muslim mosque is going to be bombed and make way for the temple. Can I continue to prophesy tonight? Can America receive bad news of one of its assets in the so-called Middle East, and then it's blamed on another member of the fighting party so that America gets into the war? And it's not a prophecy, it happened before. It's a repeat. Everything that you're seeing here happened before. But we are not learning from these things. They all happened before. The same lies were told before in the same format. No change. But let's come back. That's why Synthesis is saying, you are responsible for all righteous blood shed upon the earth. From the blood of righteous Abel in the beginning, and where I'm standing when he was here, saying as it was in the days of Noah, so it's going to be. He's saying, you're also responsible today. Same you, Cain, seed. Responsible for the blood of Zachariah, son of Berechias, the father of Lycaoniani, the man they called John the Baptist, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. So, what am I doing here? I'm painting the picture that in the beginning, before the flood and after the flood, there were people. And the same people that were before the flood are over here. You see, if they were not over here, we would not have seen wickedness anymore. That was the first termination, if you want to call it that, the flood of water. The second termination was the termination, the flood of sand, the Sahara Desert. It was green. We're going to get there. It was green and lush. But there was a second termination, a flood of sand. Abraham left just in that space, a flood of sand. And the evidence is still there today. The third was a flood of ice. And today, the evidence is still there in Antarctica. You might ask what is hidden beneath the ice. Those who are there, they know. If they want to talk, let them talk. Sanini is going to do what he says he's going to do. He's imprisoned the fallen angels. They're held. But why is there still evil? Because they have children, offspring. That's what he's talking about. Generation, descendants of the serpent. Fill up the measures of your serpent father, your viper fathers. Cain, the murderer. You are the murderous children of Cain. You are here. You've modified a bit. So your sophistication and your systems of murders are slightly different. But those of us who understand will understand. He that hath an ear, let him hear. So that's what we've done. We have connected before the flood with after the flood. Now we need to sift out. We have established that avocado trees don't produce mangoes, and mango trees cannot produce avocados. That's the law of Sunini Nanini. That's what it looks like. It cannot be reversed. So now we need to establish, as we go forward, who then, if Adam and Eve is the mother and father of righteousness, they cannot be the mango tree and the avocado tree at the same time. There was a tree in the garden, a tree of evil, a tree of the knowledge of evil, and there was a tree of the knowledge of good. See how they write it? They write it making you think that the tree was a single tree, and that tree had the knowledge of good and evil. Be careful when you read. There was a tree of the knowledge of good, and there was a tree of the knowledge of evil. We'll pick it up there tomorrow night as we continue to split apart this two seed, using the principle, the law of the plant kingdom to understand our kingdom. It's no different. Sunini has set it in that order. The avocado trees don't bear mangoes, and mangoes don't grow on avocado trees. The righteous and the wicked did not come from the same source. I mean, you read when they corrupted, say, I, the Lord, made good and evil. That's the evil inserting themselves. Evil is evil. When you see evil, you know evil. And when you see good and righteousness, you know righteousness. I want to thank everyone for coming in the chat room and invite a friend to this series. This series, I'm going to try to pull everything together in this series. I don't care how long it runs, but we're going to make sure that we break this thing down in such a way. And I'm going to be interacting with you tomorrow night in the question and answer show, and I hope that we can stay on this, including the fight that is going on in the Middle East. I'm going to be reading as a backdrop for tomorrow night, 2nd Esdras chapter 15. Mesonini Nanini Samandla, the mighty one of Abraham, the mighty one of Issachar, and the mighty one of Akobi, continue to watch over a Bantu as we experience the resurrection, this glorious redemption. Thank you, and good night.
Politician never fit to save us. Poverty all I see, but God no go shame us. People will get the power, still they use and play us. Buy them up with us in chaos. And the money what I use, you never feel my pains. What is the essence of we hustle every day? I see we facing all these political problems. Buy them up with us in silence. Africa, Africa, Africa. I did it, look, I did it, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook. I did it, look, I did it, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook. Rat-a-tat-tat, snake, fallen angel, fake, wheels on the bus go round and round. Free Africa from spellbounds. Egypt, Babylon, African kingdoms, Google Maps. You're a demon, Romans lie, Zimbabwe. So need the truth and the way. Africa, 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 Africa. I did it, look. I did it, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook. I did it.
Adidi, look, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook.
Africa, what do you see?
I see that dirty enemy fiending on me.
Africa, what do you hear?
Diamond, gold, oil digging everywhere. Blood, vipers suck on the land. African leaders, money in the hand. African reparations due. Big payback is coming to you. Africa, 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 Africa. I did it, look, I did it, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook. I did it, look, I did it, look. Understand that dirty enemy playbook.
Politician no go fit to save us. Poverty all us give our God, no go shame us. People will get the power, still they use and play us. But them a put us in chaos. I never tell you, say you never feel my pains. What is the essence of we hustle every day? I see we facing all these political problems. Why they do put us in silence?
Africa, congregate. Africa, assimilate. Africa, infiltrate. Africa, dominate. You dirty enemy, that's your way. It's in your triple six DNA. You dirty enemy, that's your way. It's in your triple six DNA.